welcome to the University of Oakmont. How can I help you?
You recognize this bottle? You know where it comes from?
Sorry. We have hundreds of bottles like this in the university.
Fine. I need to know what's in it. Any suggestions?
You need an analysis. Well, I'm sure someone from the Department of Medicine can help there.
You have a good day.
Goodbye, sir.
Hello, sir. Welcome to Oakmont University Department of Medicine. I'm Samuel.
Charles Reed, private investigator. I have a few questions if you don't mind. You recognize this bottle? Maybe you could tell me what's inside.
That's one of our lab bottles. We have a lot of them. As for what's inside, I'd need to run some tests.
Could you do that for me?
These tests aren't cheap. And the other day I could get right to it, but we're, somewhat hindered right now.
What's up?
Our lab is crawling with, well, creatures. Professor Westerbrook's research is a little unconventional, and something went wrong. Really wrong.
Isn't there some other lab you could use?
I'm afraid not. Our lab is the only one left in one piece.
Never mind. So, if I do a little pest control for you, you'll run those tests for me. For free?
Our budget is tight. You'd be helping the cause of science, Mr. Reed. Isn't that enough?
Oh, I guess science could help itself.
All right. Yes, you solve our problem, and I'll run the test for you. Off the books. Here's the key for the basement.
I'm glad this thing is dead. Why do they even keep it here? What kind of person would even touch this? Not to mention dissect it. Your lab is certified creature-free.
Excellent, Mr. Reed. You've done us a great favor. Now we can get things up and running again.
Okay. I've done my part. Here's the bottle. Now you run those tests.
Yes. Wait here. It shouldn't take long.
Wendell sent you to deliver me the books, right?
No. You must have me confused with someone else.
Oh, excuse me. I'm just worried for the fate of these tomes. It's been a week without news from Wendell. Maybe you can help me. I'd reward you, of course.
I'm preoccupied with other matters at the moment. Maybe I'll have time in the future.
Oh, yes. Of course.
We finished that analysis, sir. It's ricin.
Ricin?
A highly toxic poison extracted from castor beans. It's slow-acting, but absolutely fatal to humans.
How can you tell if someone's been poisoned with ricin?
The symptoms take several days to develop. At first, it's like a common cold. But over several days, well, it develops into hemorrhage, internal organ failure, and death. It's not a pleasant way to die.
There's some kind of cure for ricin?
I'm afraid not. Once it's in your system, it's a death sentence.
So, where do you get ricin? This isn't something you can pick up from a drugstore.
About that. It is rare, but we have a certain amount of it here. For study, in our poison store. Or we did. I'm afraid that must be where it came from. The label had been tampered with, but it certainly looks like ours. Where did you find it?
Crime scene. Someone was trying to poison a bunch of fish with it.
This is horrible. I need to warn everyone in the university about this.
Who's got access to where the poison's stored?
Only Professor Westerbrook has the key. His office is upstairs, right alongside Professor Cavendish's. Professor Westerbrook's not here, though. He's been sick for the last few days. Professor Cavendish is away as well, on vacation.
Where do they live?
I'm not sure, but probably somewhere in Advent. Most of the teaching staff live there. Wait, you don't think it was one of them?
I'm working on that. Can you let me upstairs?
Well... all right. This is serious. I'll help you. Here's the key, but please don't disturb the professor's things.
I'd like to know a bit more about your professors.
What do you want to know?
I want to know more about Westerbrook.
He's the head of our department. He's been here for, well, at least 30 years. He's one of the longest-serving staff we have. As you've already seen, he's particularly interested in the wild beast that recently appeared in our city.
Yeah, that's quite the unique fauna you have there.
I've no idea how he did it, but Mr. Throgmorton's men brought him live specimens for his research. He thinks he's on the verge of a breakthrough in evolutionary theory. A secret that, once revealed, will benefit all humankind.
Some secret should stay buried, 6 feet under.
You're not a man of science, are you?
What can you tell me about Professor Cavendish?
He's one of the most brilliant teachers we have here. A PhD at only 25. Just imagine. His biochemistry studies are second to none, worthy of a Nobel Prize. If he could complete his work.
What's his problem?
I don't know. There's some kind of family trouble. It's made him standoffish and irritable, and easily distracted. I hope he gets through whatever he's going through. We need his talent, especially in these dark times.
I'll see you later. These bottles look exactly the same as the one with the poison. This Cavendish guy did an impressive investigation, and the EOD's in the center of all of it. A lot of fancy dresses locked away in a dark corner for a long time. I'm starting to smell some deep family trauma here. And judging by the layer of dust on it, this ring hasn't been worn in a long time. So why keep it around?
I don't care what your damn EOD cult demands, Anna! I thought the child was mine! Mine! Who are you? What are you doing here?
Calm down. The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator. Time for you to do some explaining. Care to tell me why you poisoned the fish at the EOD warehouse? And you better not lie to me.
How dare you?
I'm only going to ask politely once. Then my gun will do the talking.
Fine. Yes, it was me. But I had a good reason to do it. It all comes back to Anna.
Oh, this should be fun. What's your good reason for poisoning innocent people? You know the EOD are feeding the hungry, don't you?
No, that's exactly the problem. They're not doing it out of charity. They do it to spread their influence and recruit new members. Some of those initiates, as they call them, vanish without a trace. And not just them. They kidnap ordinary folks, too.
What's Anna got to do with all this?
The EOD robbed me of her. It all started with the free fish. We were all short on food at the time, and then they hooked her with their nonsense about the benevolent sea and greater good. I looked past it for some time, but then...
She became pregnant.
Yes. At first, I was over the moon. But then one day she came to me, that snake, and told me that the child was not mine. She said it was blessed by the sea, that it was demanded by the EOD. Doomed take them! I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't.
What did she mean, blessed by the sea?
What do you think is the cause of Innsmouth syndrome in people?
Living in Innsmouth?
That K-forsaken place has nothing to do with it. It comes from breeding with monsters. These sea creatures they call Deep Ones. They take our women and they spoil them with their seed. Then they give birth to degenerate fish-faced offspring.
Where did you learn all of this? This information about the EOD?
After Anna left, I had nothing. But I did have a lot of time to research Innsmouthers, the EOD, and the story behind them. It is an old and powerful organization. They appeared back in the mid-19th century in Innsmouth, and the first people with the Innsmouth syndrome started showing up around that same time.
Ah, perhaps not coincidentally.
No, of course not. I understand I'm in no position to ask. But after reviewing all the facts I've presented to you, Mr. Reed, would you agree to help me?
Keep talking. Now, what is it you want from me?
Poison the rest of the fish. It's spreading. So, have you made up your mind?
You're a madman, Cavendish. You're willing to let innocent people suffer and die just to get revenge on your ex-wife. No, this madness has to stop. and I'm gonna put an end to it right now.
Oh, no, no. You don't understand.
Your methods stink, and your plan stinks. Still, the EOD is a threat, and I'm not gonna help them anymore.
You're doing a great favor for this city, Mr. Reed. Never doubt that.
I'm trying to find a certain person who may be held by them.
My agent can arrange that. If someone is being held by the EOD, he'll know it. It's a win-win situation.
All right, look. I'm gonna need to think about this.
Of course. But don't be too long. I'm going to need an answer before I let you go. I hope you can understand why. I'll be back later. I need to see my agent. Find me after you're done. Here's the address, and be very careful with it.
Yeah, will do. I'm not quite ready to die yet.
Don't be shy. Leave enough for everyone. Fish? Fresh fish?
I found your poisoner.
See, bless you, Charlie. Thank goodness. Who is it?
Well, that's the peculiar part. It's your ex-husband, George Cavendish.
Oh. So that son of a rotten shark finally decided to show up. We'll find him. Then I'll have a word with him in person. Still, it's strange. I never thought he'd have the guts to do something like this. He was always a pushover. And now, we're going to relieve him of the burden of his miserable existence. You've done us all a great service, Charlie.
All right. No more messing around. Get me in touch with your Grand Poobah or whoever's in charge, now.
Easy there, Charlie. I'm a woman of my word. Go to the basement of the fish market. It's nearby. You'll find an innsmouther there by the name of Maurice. Tell him I've sent you. You'll get your answers.
About time.
Don't be shy. Leave enough for everyone. Fish? Fresh fish? What are you doing? Stop that immediately!
Hello again, Daryl. I serve the sea.
Sea be praised, Mr. Reed. Good to see you again.
Daryl, listen to me carefully. If you want to keep breathing, you gotta skip town. Now. You're taking a lot of heat on account of that fish poisoning. The EOD is on it like a dog on a bone, and they will find out the truth eventually.
Bah, I don't believe it.
Daryl, I'm saying this only because you're a real stand-up guy and I respect you. Leave this place, forget about the EOD, or it will kill you.
Fine, fine. You've always been on the level with me. I'll leave.
Don't be a stranger, Daryl.
May the sea protect you, Mr. Reed.
Yes? Do you need something? What is it?
Your contact better be worth the trouble, George.
He's already waiting for you in the basement of the fish market. His name's Fred. You'll need to tell him a password. The password is, the sea is a cruel mistress. Good luck.
You know anything about Harriet Doe? A professor from the university.
Harriet. Ah, yes, I remember her. Brilliant anthropologist. It was always a pleasure to read her articles. Is it her you're looking for?
Yeah. She participated in Throgmorton's little, expedition to the depths. That's where the EOD captured her.
Oh, kidnapping promising female scientists from the university must have become a hobby for them. Freaks.
So, what's next on your to-do list? Hangings? Drowning kittens?
What we've already accomplished should be more than enough. After I see the EOD in ruin, I'll turn myself into the police. I'm aware of being guilty of several crimes. The least being theft and the most severe being mass murder. I won't hide from my fate.
Well, that's something, at least.
I don't want anyone else to suffer my fate. And I certainly don't want anyone else blamed for my crimes.
Bye,